Hello, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Brood War Remastered replay. Today it's going to be a best of 5 between Jaedong and Pure, starting here on match point. Very, very excited to be casting a full series between Jaedong and Pure. Woo! Alright, this is going to be very long, but it's going to be very, very fun. Alrighty then, in the bottom left-hand corner of match point, we have the Peach Zerg player Jaedong. And in the top right-hand corner, it is going to be the Teal Protoss player Pure. Alright, so some ZVP action here from two extremely high-level players for you today. Jaedong is the name you probably know better than Pure's. But I've had Pure on my channel before, and he has given Jaedong the run for his money more than once here. Again, this is going to be a best of 5. Whichever player wins 3 games first is going to be your victor today, which should be a lot of fun here. One game doesn't mean you go home. You still get to fight. Still get to fight and scratch and claw and make this thing happen for you. So, Jaedong is, let's see what he's doing here. He's saving up his cash. He does not have quite enough money to make a pool yet, but he's getting there, and that drone's ready to go. And there goes the pool. Probe scouting. Yes, indeed, the probe scout is here. There were some questions in one of my previous casts as to whether, see, like this little mouse button, hang on a second. Boop. This little mouse scroll is just too jerky, and this is what the keyboard does too. It's just not, it's too jerky. It's not smooth. I wish it was smooth. It's a lot easier to follow stuff if you're being smooth that way. Anyway, it's a pull first here from Jaedong. Meanwhile, back in Protossville, it sure looks like we're going to have ourselves a Nexus coming up quite soon here for Pure. I mean, he's saving up that money. 370, 380. Okay, so actually, first of all, he is going to go for a Forge, as you need those cannons to survive against the early Lings, especially considering this is a pool first play out of the Jaedong, and immediately Lings are in production here. So yeah, you don't want to go Nexus first because the Lings will come and destroy you. Actually, one of the games that I screened for this, it was just a 6 pool from Jaedong, and Pure wasn't ready. He didn't have anything. His Nexus was on the way, but he didn't have a Forge, he didn't have cannons, he didn't have a gateway, and he just tapped out. He saw the Lings coming like at this point on the map and said, we're just gonna go to the next game, is that cool? And they did. So we're not casting that one. That was a part of another pack that I was looking at, and I said, yeah, 6 pools. Everybody has seen a 6 pool before. It's not really that interesting. This is a lot of Lings. A lot of Lings from Jaedong, and Pure looks incredibly ready for this here. The placement of these cannons is absolutely perfect. Actually, that's a gateway, and that's a cannon. But the placement of the cannon means it covers the front. It also covers the entirety of the backside of that Nexus, too. So the Lings shouldn't be able to do anything. The probe says, oh, there's the Lings here. Time to get on home and report what's going on to the high command. Cannon finishes with plenty of time. I don't know that Jaedong's going to be able to do much with these Lings. I mean, he recognizes that. He's not even really approaching it at this point. He might send an Overlord up to scout, but... And, oh, look at the probes fighting here, too. Just trying not to die. Trying to make sure the Lings can't do much by way of getting inside the base. Yo, 2 of them do manage to get inside, but 2 out of 6 is not good survival numbers for these Zerglings. They're trying to kill a probe or 2 if they're allowed to do it. Meanwhile, double expanding is Jaedong back home. He's got 2 hatches in production. One at his natural, one in the top left there, basically taking the left side of the map to himself. At this stage of the replay, Lings being super duper annoying. Overlords moving on up to do some scouting too. And did they? I mean, the probes aren't really fighting. There we go. At least they're moving. At least they're moving around a little bit. Trying to stay alive. But yeah, just macroing a lot behind this here. Jaedong is not going to try to Ling Flood at this point, try to win with Zerglings. He's going to go ahead and tech up to some other stuff. Get that third base out, recognizing that Pure is going to be super, super annoyed with these Lings inside. His base might slow down his macro and slow down his ability to do much of anything. The Zealot's finally here. Zealot's going to patrol this mineral line and say, alright, you get close to these probes and you die. That's how this one works. Meanwhile, back in third base land for Jaedong, he's happily mining. His natural is looking fantastic here too. And that is a lair upgrade, plus working on metabolic boost, making those Lings a little bit faster at this stage of the game. Zealot, it's slow. Zealot is slow, but if you can catch these Zerglings, they're absolutely going to die. The thing is, they don't want to die, and they'll be very, very fast, sooner rather than later. Regardless, Zealots are out. This front wall is fairly well protected for Pure. There's no super follow-up attack coming from the Jaedong because he's just, again, got that third base. He's trying to make drones. He's actually going for a Spire right now. Where the heck is that Spire? Right in his main, right next to his spawning pool. No big deal. No big deal. Are these Lings still alive? Of course they're still alive. These are Jaedong Lings. Jaedong Lings are going to be alive for quite some time. At least until Dragoons pop out. Maybe if they wander a little bit too close to that cannon, but I don't see why they would even do that. Oh, a little bit blocked. No, they juke. They juke through the defense. And managed to go score a touchdown. Stargate pops up here. This is more scouting than anything else from Jaedong. It is an annoyance, and it is slowing down Pure a tiny bit. But being able to scout and see exactly what we're doing here is going to be Corsair production out of our Protoss player. Also working on +1 attack for the Zealots. So Corsair's super important. Zealot tries to get up here at the third base and do some damage. Actually does manage to do a little bit of some damage here. Can he get another drone? No! He cannot get another drone. Macro hatch in production right up here at this particular base. Natural base for the Jaedong. Corsair, single target damage, not great, but pretty good with large groups and doing splash damage. This is unfortunately a single target situation for this Corsair, so it'll take 47 hits to actually kill this thing. Cannon helping immensely, and Speedlings are here. Once again, Speedlings can't quite break this, not with the Zealots and 2 cannons sitting there, but perhaps checking for a quick third base. Is there any sign of a third for my opponent? No. Absolutely not. Still on the 2, which is good news for the Jaedong. Temporarily was supply blocked, but did manage to get an Overlord out because he's good. He's real good at this particular game. Hydralisk Den just now popping. Lurker aspect being evolved immediately. Immediately for Jaedong. He wants them lurkers out. So he does have the Spire. He doesn't seem to really be wanting to use it all that much, except for some Scourge. I thought it might be Mutas for a second, but it's definitely going to be Scourge. And here is the hot pursuit. Scourge are the teeniest and tiniest bits faster than Corsairs are. And, oh, the juke. Oh, other Corsairs coming in, or other Scourge coming to take down that Corsair. That was fantastic. This Corsair might want to watch it. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, Corsair, because you're going to get hit by these Scourge if you just sit there holding still. Okay, well. Oh, no, did manage to get out. Run! Run to the main base. Do some scouting at the main base. You can't juke. Oh, maybe. Maybe with some good angles. You can kind of juke your way out of this thing. Maybe, Corsair pilot? Who sounds like this. It's very deep voice. Oh, the Scourge with the angle. Can't get it. Can't get the angle. The Lings want to get involved, but they can't. And, the Scourge can't catch it. Cannot catch it. Zealots in here at the natural base location trying to do some stuff. Why are they behind this mineral line? I think you can just straight up win. I guess there are Hydras, though, so that's not great for them. Yeah, if it was just Zerglings, I think they'd be okay, but the Hydras plus the Sunken Colony here really causing these Zealots a lot of problems. Trying to focus down some of these drones, but it's just the Sunken is having such a wonderful time. This wall is beautiful from Jaedong, making the Zealots go all the way around to try to do any kind of damage here whatsoever. Alright, goodbye, Zealots. It was a good attempt. It was a wonderful, wonderful attempt here. Scourge Overlord scouting this third base placement by Pure. We're almost 9 minutes into this thing, so I feel like perhaps it's a tiny bit late. But he is making Archons. Archons are good, and an observatory for the observers, because lurkers are gonna be a thing. Is this a drop, or is this just a scout? Just a scout. Does not have the drop upgrade quite yet. Single Archon Zealot trying to hang on against these Lings. Nope! Archon goes down, but takes about 10 Lings with it. That is how good Archons are against those Zerglings. That splash damage and just the sheer power that they're outputting is wonderful against large groups of Lings. Scourge hunting around, trying to find stuff to do. Immediate observer production starting here for Pure. He's working on a couple High Templar too. Nice hit. Nice hit. Way to go. Wow, Jaedong Scourge have a really high batting average right now. I know I'm throwing sporting analogies at you guys, and perhaps most of you do not care about the sports ball, but I do. I like sports ball. I like esports. I don't know, competition. Competition in general is a really, really good thing. Really, really fun to watch. Scourge just hanging out. Any more Corsair want to come out, they say? Huh? Do ya? Some lurkers trying to find a nice place to burrow that can actually threaten some stuff, and that is a wonderful location right there. There it is. So it can actually kind of mess up any reinforcements that come down to try to help this third base location. It can also kill this pylon here. Can they hit the forge is the question. I'm not convinced they can. Ah, there's the Observer, though. Observer's here. Overlord can see it, because Overlords are detectors, so they can tell when there's an Observer nearby. Lurkers aren't doing a whole lot. I mean, they injured one of those pylons. They're going to injure this one here, too. They took down a probe. Sonic Storm being researched. Finally, Singularity Charge out of pure range on those Dragoons, but he hasn't really made any to this point, so there's really no reason to get it. No reason to get it much earlier than this. I guess he does have a handful, but they haven't been really involved in the combat at all. This is a weird color for Zerg. This kind of tan, peachish thing going on. Yeah, I don't know. Drop aspect's been researched now, though, from Jaedong. We can tell you that much. Zealot Dragoon trying to attack this way, but this drop is going to be absolutely devastating for Pure. Does he have anything back home to handle this? The answer is not really no. Not as we're flying into the main to check this thing out. Dragoon's trying to show up. Lurkers burrowing in. There are a lot of Templar, though. Need to get these storms off immediately. Ling Hydra Lurker is such a potent combination right now. And it's kind of a weird position to be in. Oh, the Scourge could have got that Observer, but got distracted a little bit here. The Storm was beautiful, though. Clearing out all of the Lurkers. Just kidding. There is two more remaining here. How are there still 2 Lurkers? The Templar need to get out. Oh, sniping one of them down. I think that was target fired by Pure. And finally, the drop, it looks like, is going to be taken down. Oh, did they snipe down the Observer? They sniped down the Observer. These 2 Lurkers are doing way too much damage all of a sudden. But they decide to retreat for it, because the Dragoons are mad. Dragoons are real mad. They do take down the Overlord retreating. They got +1 attack. Lot of Ling and Hydra and Lurker coming to threaten this 3rd base location of Pure. This is not great. This is bad news. Bears ready, set, go. Oh, you probably saw that Discord pop up, didn't you? How am I not in streaming mode right now, Discord? To fix that after this game, apparently. Alright, so that Nexus ends up falling apart. That 3rd base is toast. Toast with the most. You just can't get that 3rd base up. 4th base is done with a macro hatch here, too, for Jaedong along the left side. It's just not going well for Pure right now. He's doing okay in these individual battles, but he can't get a 3rd base. Scourge really want to get that Observer, and they do. They take down the Observer. The Lurkers are pretty much unopposed. Other Scourge getting picked out of the sky here by the Dragoons and forced to flee. Queen's Nest in production here for Jaedong. Are the Lurkers actually... Oh, okay, that was probably a bad move, Lurker. I don't know where you're trying to go. Bad pathing, maybe? That could have just been a Brood War bad pathing type situation. Zerglings coming down, kind of on their own. As reinforcing units, that's great, but on your own, you just can't hang with this army. These Dragoons and these Zealots and the upgrades are real good. How are the upgrades on these guys? No upgrades at all on the Zerglings. I really wish that was a different key combination rather than Alt-U, because my right hand on the mouse, my left hand can't really quite hit the Alt-U combination, which means I have to click it, which is annoying. Alright, Dragoons trying to push in here, but these Lurkers are just ready to rock. There are so many of them right now. As discussed in a cast last week, this is your Protoss music, which... it's atmospheric, I think I said last time. It's real nice. It just doesn't get my blood pumping. You know what I mean? It doesn't get me stoked. Terran just gets you ready, man. It gets you up and ready to fight. Zerg stuff, too, is more like mysterious, and it can get there. There are certain tracks that are a little bit more exciting than others, but Terran's consistently that way, and Protoss is just sort of... this is what it feels like to live on Ire. Here's your soundtrack for Ire, right? It is. It is. Alright, so 3rd base has been established. Well, almost. Just about established there. If you're Pure, bottom right-hand corner is coming up here too. So he's actually trying to catch up a little bit. Small group of Zerglings getting caught out of position. They're all going to die. Oh, by that, I mean, most of them are going to die. 2 of them. 2 of them managed to live. 2 of them are going to try to take down this Nexus, but that was definitely a good victory for Pure. And here comes Pure. He's pushing. He's looking pretty aggressive, but this is a really scary looking Zerg army right now for the Jaedong. He's got Lurkers positioned perfectly. He's got Lings ready to roll into. He's got Hydras. Trying to walk into these Lurkers is just absolute suicide for Pure. He's just not even going to try right now. He's working on Reavers. Reavers is a good answer. Getting some more High Templar with some Storm is also a good way to go. He's got a couple, but they're lagging behind this army, and I'm afraid the Lings might catch them. But no, they get focused on that Zealot instead. And do get eviscerated there. So more Drop Lord action here. It looks like it might be. These guys look kind of Drop Lordy. Indeed they are, as they are carrying something to drop. Storming himself a little bit. Ooh, High Templar ends up dead. There's just too many Zerglings on top of these Dragoons. Get out of there. There you go. Let the Zealots engage. The Zealots are so much better in that situation. Just way to go. 139 to 133 supply. It's fairly even on total supply right now. It's 4 base to 4 base, and a 5th base coming in for Jaedong up north here too. It's just all about the splash damage. Pure needs more Storm. He's got the Reavers in production. He's making some Archons too. Big fan of Archons, as I believe I mentioned more than once in my life here. Zealot versus Zealot. Dragoons here to assist as well. Are these drops? I don't know. That's a single lurker that does get taken down. But look at the swing around from the backside here, picking off the reinforcements with just sheer Zergling there. Nope, you're not joining the party, says Jaedong. This army up at front is on their own. Lurkers on the high ground, Lurkers on the low ground. Dragoon's doing pretty well here, but this huge swell of Zerglings crushing on in. And finally some Defilers. Have we seen any Dark Swarm yet? I'm not convinced that we have, and it's not really needed right now. These Zerglings with the +1/+1 upgrades, really good against Dragoons. The Storms are pretty much fantastic at getting rid of them there to Defiler. I mean, could have tossed down a Dark Swarm there, but was too late. Too late with it. Again, the APM right now is 370 for Jaedong, so it's not that he couldn't. It's just more of a matter that... Oh! Dark Templar does take down the Defiler there. This DT's trying to do some stuff, but detected by all of these Overlords and then finally picked into a corner and killed. Researching Plague is Jaedong too. Alright, here we go. Zealots, Lurkers, great Storm there, and nice little Reaver hit there. With the Scarabs, it's not a huge army for Pure, but it's doing okay. He's being very cautious with it. It is taking down Lings. The Lurkers are getting taken down here too. The detection is available. Lings trying to come up. Archon Zealot, a wonderful answer to that one. But guess who's coming down this way? A ton of Zerglings ready to rock. Ready to rock against that bottom right-hand base of the Pure. This army doing well up north, but I don't think there's much to defend. I guess there are some cannons here. But static defense, as we mentioned before, gets worse and worse the longer the game goes on. Zealot's trying to get rid of these Reavers. Can't quite do it. Archon, we're protecting that flank a little bit. No, the Reaver does end up going down. The Lings are here. Oh, with the Dark Swarm. I didn't realize there was a Defiler here too. Yeah, these cannons are absolutely going to die. No splash damage whatsoever there. The Lings are going to have an absolute field day. It's the best day of their lives. Some Templar coming down trying to help with this thing. And, nope. They just come in and get crushed instead. All right, meanwhile, this army finally is going to get subdued just by Lings, Hydras, Lurkers. This Archon's still alive with 18 kills, but he's toast. There it is, 18 kills down, bottom right-hand base, in a lot of trouble. But the Lings finally getting cleaned out there. Dark Swarm lasting longer than Jaedong needed it to. Can tell you that much. Oh, single Reaver left out in the open. Let's kill a Hydra before it succumbs to the power of the Zerg. But 12 more Lings on the way. It looks pretty even. Pretty even on the army counts right now. 5th base of Jaedong is taken down. More Lurker drops happening here. From the Jaedong, you can hear that loading sound very clearly. Hope Hydras and Lings sneaking down. Well, I mean, was Pure trying to take this base? I guess maybe. He was trying to go for a 5th base here. Zealots actually doing all right. Zealots, if they can get right up close to Hydras, we'll chew them apart. As we see there. So Zealot, High Templar kind of running back right now. It's just the Swarm is everywhere. There's the drop in the main. Lurkers getting dropped in there. Production facilities in a lot of trouble right now. Zealots trying to catch these Lings, but they're just so fast. Hydras swinging in to assist. These... the Zealots. The Zealots are gone. Yep, no saving them, which means this army is going to have a great time at this bottom right-hand base. But there is a Reaver and some cannons, so without some Defiler production or protection there, it's not going to work that much. So the Hydras decide instead to go up and attack at this 3rd base location. They do have the +2/+2, which is fantastic. Hydras being a massive staple for Zerg in the Brood War. These Lurkers just still doing stuff. No, finally got cleaned out by some Zealots and Archons. Not before they tossed down a couple Plagues, though. But the problem is losing this 3rd base is just going to be really hard to come back from right now. Because natural base is technically there, but effectively it's one main base mining for pure. Hydras and Lings, goodbye. Pylon, 148 to 119 total supply. I don't even know what army units are here. It's a handful of Zealots and an Archon out of pure. It's just he hasn't been able to get up the huge Protoss death ball that he's wanted to, just because he's been losing individual smaller battles from time to time. Yeah, it's almost 50 supply up right now, and that is your good game. Good game from pure. Jaedong wins game number 1 of this best of 5. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet, pure. Let's go ahead and take a look at your final score here. Maybe make some sense of what happened. It's just, yeah, units produced is insane. 580 compared to 200. That's a 3-to-1 difference for Jaedong. Ended up losing 354, but I mean, again, that's about half of his forces, whereas Pure ended up losing way more than half of his own forces there. Structures tab, again, really misleading when you look at Protoss versus Zerg, but resources do tell a story. More gas mined, more minerals mined, and more total spent. All right, so that would explain it for the Jaedong. Let's see if Pure can come back in game number 2. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. I don't know. This could be a 3-game sweep for all you know, but check it out. We'll be right back in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to game number 2 of this best of 5 between Pure and Jaedong. Game 2 will be on Fighting Spirit, the most popular and ubiquitous map of Brood War currently and for the last few years. In the bottom left-hand corner, up 1-0, it is going to be the blue Zerg player, Jaedong. And in the bottom right-hand corner, the purple Protoss player. This time around, it is Pure. All right, Pure. He just couldn't quite get up the army value that he needed in game number 1. Not really his fault exactly. I don't think he was messing stuff up. Just couldn't get that third base. Couldn't get that third base fast enough to get the income required to produce the units he needed to win those battles, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Losing that third was kind of the nail in the coffin. I know it happened around the 8 or 9 minute mark, but boy, did it have some different issues, have some different effects, different butterfly effects, if you will, heading down the rest of that game. But that's okay. That's just fine. He'll come back. He'll come back. I feel like he's got the ability to beat Jaedong. Jaedong didn't just crush him in 5 minutes. It did turn into a pretty darn good back and forth there. So Fighting Spirit, I don't know if it's the tile set. I don't know if it's the design. I don't know if it's the number of bases or the size overall, but this has been considered the most balanced and most wonderful Brood War map of all time for a very, very long time now, as I mentioned in the opening here. And it's just, I think it's a combination of all the things. It just harkens back to StarCraft 1. It is really different. I don't know, it's easy to take your bases in certain situations. There is that middle base that's right in the middle. That's very, very hard to hold. It kind of adds an element of excitement to the map too, where it's like, hey man, if you want this thing, you can get it, but you're going to get shelled on all sides. You don't have, you have to protect 360 degrees, my friend, if you want it. So go for it. I think I've seen it attempted to be taken maybe once or twice the whole time I've been casting the Remastered. But anyway, if this is your first time at my channel, first of all, welcome. I'm Falcon Paladin. I've been casting StarCraft for about three plus years now on the YouTube. Started casting Brood War about a year ago now. My history with Brood War does extend back to the day that StarCraft was released, back in 1997. I did purchase it, I did play it a whole lot. The problem has come, though, and that I've been casting a lot of StarCraft 2 on the channel for the first couple of years there. And so I've basically got a lot of StarCraft 2 strategies in my head, unit names in my head, unfortunately taking over some of the unit names for Brood War units. I think I've got them straight now. I think I've cast enough Brood War in the last little while here to get them straight. I don't think I've made a mistake in at least the last few casts. But anyway, welcome. I do 2 StarCraft Remastered casts a week, one on Tuesdays in the US and the other one on Saturdays in the US. So if you want high-level StarCraft Brood War in the Remastered client, which is kind of hard to find these days, come check it out. Come check me out here at the Falcon Paladin, and I guarantee you will not regret that decision. Not much happening here. Pretty much a repeat of game number 1. 3 hatches very quickly. Well, not a repeat. Don't have any Ling harassment this time from Jaedong, and that might come back to bite him here. I feel like the Ling harassment really messed with Pure to a certain extent. And honestly, it just needs to be a certain extent in order to win in the Brood War. Anyway, got the cannon up. Nexus is finishing. Absolutely no harassment yet. I guess it does mean that Jaedong gets his third base up more quickly, which is what you want to do if you're trying to beat a Protoss player in a macro-style game. Anyway, Probe trying to scout, kind of trying to mess with the Lings here. The Lings can't get out there and harass if they want to kill this Probe. Look at the micro, though. Oh, microed down by Jaedong. Exactly what you want to see. Overlord scouting in, not getting so close to the cannon that it takes shots to the face. And Overlord scouting stuff. Probe up north trying to see, is there a third base for my opponent? I have to assume, based on the lack of Ling attacks, there is a third base. Can I get there without getting killed by Zerglings? Maybe not. That might not be in the cards for me right now. So are you actually going... I was going to say, you're going up to the top left? You don't have to. The third base on this particular map is actually not that far away. On other maps, taking a third across the map as Zerg is something that you do definitely see from time to time, but not really on the fighting spirit. Yeah, so third base is scouted. Excellent job there. Stargate in production for Pure. It's one of these. Yeah, it's definitely that guy right there. Right there. +1 attack is being researched by the Forge. A Zealot pops here. Boop. Instant popping of the Zealot. Is this the same probe that scouted? It's the same probe that scouted the third base of Jaedong. Dang, you are brave. You are brave and you are effective, Mr. Probe. How's your health looking like? You still got all of your health? Shields have taken some hits, but those regen, as you can see right now, slowly creeping up from 0 to 100. Citadel of Adun on the way from Pure. Got to get them Zealot legs, man. Zealots are so much better when they are fast. There's no way you make it home. Is there a way you make it home? I guess the Lings aren't. Oh, speed just kicked in. Did it? Yeah, speed just kicked in. You're toast. Okay, it's kind of like Reapers in StarCraft 2. You can do well against slow Lings, but once they get speed, you're done. That is the end of your life as you know it. Spire in production here for the Jaedong. We saw the Spire in the last game, mainly used for the Scourge, and to great effect. I guess I didn't mention how effective the Scourge were in Game 1 and recapping why Jaedong won that thing. But it was a lot of it. A whole heck of a lot of it were Scourge hit on Corsairs. Is this another? It's another Corsair trying to take down an Overlord up there. Lings going for it, man. I don't know about this. 3 Zealots and 2 cannons. Yeah, the Lings decided to pop out. Decided to pop out there too. But third base done. This is not a 2-base Muta, as Jaedong once again gets supply blocked by that Corsair kill on his Overlord, but he's going to be out of the supply block momentarily. In fact, right about now. Well, nailed it. Nailed it. I guess while we're just hanging out too, I do have a Patreon. If you're interested in supporting weekly StarCraft Brood War stuff, patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. There's a link in the description. And then also I have a Discord server. If you want to come and talk to other Brood War fans and StarCraft fans, and there's a link in that one in the description as well. Corsair killing more Overlords, further supply blocking Jaedong. Dang, Jaedong. These Corsair are doing work. Doing super amounts of work with you right now. Okay, what's the plan for Pure? It's going to be Zealot legs. It's going to be... There's a Templar Archives for the Archons and the High Templar. Scourge flying around. Are there any more Corsair for us to kill over this direction? No. Well, there are, but they're hiding over cannons, which protects them quite nicely. Quite nicely indeed. There's been no pressure put on Jaedong at all, and that's got to terrify you as a Protoss fan right now. You can't leave him alone for the first 7 to 10 minutes of the game and expect things to go well. You just can't. Scourge going on back home. Zealots deciding to go for an attack here at about 7 minutes to see what they can do. They've got the charge. The +1 is finishing just as they arrive. Look at that timing. Look at that timing. And Zealots say, oh, the +1's not quite done. Go +1, finish. And really? There it is. All right, so the +1 attack is done, but they were taking some hits before then. Kind of dancing around. Probe's here to fight too. Probe's not doing as well, but they are providing a bit of a block, and actually the Zealot's doing okay. Wounded Zealot getting back on in, trying to not die. There you go. Sunken Colony does end up dead anyway there, and that was a fantastic hold out of the Jaedong. I mean, it's not over yet, but it's over. Once there's Hydras and a Sunken Colony attacking, it's over. It's over for the Zealots. Lurkers immediately morphing in here for Jaedong. Get this. Oh, before the 8-minute mark, he's got Lurkers, man. That's real good. A Dark Templar, though. Huh. Fair enough. Dark Templar opening here from Pure. There is detection, obviously, because derp. All Overlords are detectors here. And I mean, 3 drone kills for a Dark Templar. I'm not entirely sure if that was the best way to do things, but Pure went for it. Pure went for it anyway. Scourge continuing to fly around here. Corsair trying to find stuff to kill. Do you have any kills yourself, Corsair? Well, you're dead now. You're dead now, so we'll never know. We'll never know if you were able to get any more kills. Overlord has the speed. Trying to make sure there's not a drop here. These zealots are ready and waiting for anything to come out of this guy, which is hilarious. Lurker just walking across the map. We're just going to try to set up here and see what you can do about it. The answer is not much. Yeah, this Lurker attack at the front is going to be devastating for Pure. Oh, they get the cannon before the cannon finishes. Nice timing. Look how closely timed that was. A couple more seconds, that cannon's up, providing detection, providing extra hits. And I like the spread here, too. The spread is so that the Sonic Storm cannot kill all of these Lurkers at once, is what it is. Corsair trying to chase away that Overlord. And Pure's being patient here. He's being extremely patient. Overlord suicides in to see what we're dealing with. He's not attacking you now, but he is kind of going to lose this gateway and maybe the forge too if things go poorly for him. But the gateway is down, cannon's down. Scourge, oh, saved by the cannon. That Corsair needs to write a thank you note to the cannon when all is said and done here. All right, Pure, you going to go for it? Pure looks like he's going to go for it. I just don't know. All right, here he goes. Zealots leading the charge. Dragoons from distance as well, trying to focus down these guys. And yeah, Jaedong does not like what he sees here. The Scourge picked off. Yep, the one hit on the Corsair, but does keep it alive. Dragoons managing to make enough work happen so the Corsair does not die. But 8 mutas in production. Whoa, 8 mutas. That might be the most I've seen off the 3 bases from a Zerg player that I've been casting. All right, it's going to be Hydra Mutalisk right now out of the Jaedong. Finally breaking out of his natural base location. Might be time to take a third. He kind of has, yeah, he's got a probe up here. This Overlord is scouting it though, a little bit mockingly, saying, "You know what? If you're going to expand here, I will scout it. I will be ready for it, and you will wish you hadn't come here, probably." Is that another? Ah, this Corsair. Are you new? You're fairly new. You got 1 kill. Getting that splash damage out, though. That's what you like to see. If you can attack more than one target at the same time, that is what you want to do. Absolutely, positively. Zerglings kind of trying to come around this top side and take this thing down, but there's enough Zealots here, and they do, in fact, have the +2. Yeah, not going to happen, guys. Like, good luck with that. You got the probe. Way to go. Probe's already done with the work. Nice storm. They do take down a cannon that was being produced right here, but I think that's okay. Managed to save the base. Managed to save another cannon here. Looks like another cannon. And it is. Alright, Mutas, let's do this thing. Muta's trying to find an angle in which to attack here, but we've got cannons in the mineral lines. And there's a bunch of Dragoons here too. Yeah, I mean the distance attacks. Alright, so Muta's gonna attack at the same time, eating a bit of a storm there. That was an exceptionally well-placed storm. Holy smokes. Hydra, Zealot trying to do this thing against Dragoons, but the storms are just too good. Look at all those dead Lurkers. Look at all these dead Hydras. More reinforcing Hydras are coming. But no, the Dragoon count seems to be a little bit too high. Dragoons, man, they are tanky. They are tanky. They also have amazing upgrades. Let's not forget that part. The Hydras only have the +1 attack and not much else. Whereas the Dragoons are on, yeah, +2. So definite upgrade advantage. Corsair flying into this 4th base location in the top left that Jaedong is trying to take. And both players just taking their time. Just taking their time. $122 to 84 total supply right now. The Protoss player is up in that count for sure. And able to get that 3rd base up, and mining from it is helping immensely. Immensely. Is he getting upgrades? Yeah, getting that +3 ground weapons, working on +1 ground armor here. We've kind of split the base and map in half right now. Overlord's continuing to scout pretty much wherever they want, though, which is nice for them. All right, Pure's pushing across, checking to make sure that middle base has not been taken by Jaedong, which would be bad news. But they hear a ton of Lurker burrows and say, "Oh, I don't know if we necessarily want to get in there or not. Queen's Nest just now finishing for Jaedong. He's going to go for that Hive Tech sooner rather than later. And there it is, Hive Tech in the top left. Going for it, though, is Pure. I like it. I like this quite a bit from him. The distance, the Dragoon count looks like it's enough to be able to win this battle. Lurker's getting picked out. Some Hydras trying to flank from the bottom side. Storming a couple of them. Reinforcing units getting killed before they can get anywhere near this battle. The Storms are exceptionally well placed right now. Dragoons continue to push down, and that is a good game. Whoa! Good game out of Jaedong. Pure manages to come back in game number 2 and tie the series up 1-1. Nice work. Upgrades. Getting that third base. Handling those mutas exceptionally well. All those things were keys to victory for the Pure. Yeah, much closer to the numbers that Pure wants to see. Where he was able to produce 135 and only lost 46 that time, so his kill-death ratio was a lot better. And resources, too. He mined more minerals and he spent more money than Jaedong did. So not more gas, but that's okay. Apparently didn't need to. Okay, let's go back with game 3. So we're tied up 1-1 right now. We're going to come back with game 3 of these guys in just a second, so stick with me. And let's finish this thing up. Welcome back to this best of 3 between Jaedong and Pure. Game number 3 will be on match point. Yeah, every game in this series is either on match point or fighting spirit. I assume that's because they're the two most balanced maps of StarCraft Brood War. But I'm sure somebody in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong about that. In the bottom left-hand corner, sporting the color purple once again, is going to be our purple Protoss hero, Pure. So much alliteration there. And in the top right-hand corner, the blue Zerg player, it's Jaedong. All right, so top left versus bottom left, or top right rather, versus bottom left here on the match point. Probe moving out, likely going to be for the scouting. Throw down a pylon up here to start up his expansion, because you really do want that expansion, especially against somebody like Jaedong. You try to one-base him, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Yep, there's the pylon, and here goes the scout. One more thing I do want to mention here during this cast, I do have a podcast too. It's called the Falcon Paladin Hour. We talk about StarCraft, we talk about movies and TV shows and books and stuff like that. We have a 1.5 hour long podcast just diving deep into Infinity War. So if you liked Infinity War, feel free to check it out. Just search Falcon Paladin anywhere you get your podcasts. It's on Apple, it's on Android. It's available on websites too, like last.fm. So if you prefer to listen to them at work, for example, on your PC, you can do that. Either way, it's a free podcast. Come check it out. Come say hello. Come join the party. All right, so Probe Scouts on in, sees what? Absolutely nothing? Absolutely nothing from the Jaedong. Is there not a pool? There's not a pool. So the Probe's going to try to block this thing. Look at that drone hiding, though. Ah, the fight begins. The fight begins anyway. Didn't quite have the 300 minerals required to toss it down. This is so consistently annoying for Zerg players. Protoss have been doing this for a long time, y'all. For a long time. And is he just going to give up? He just gave up and went for a spawning pool. And I think Pure recognizes that. And no, did he block it again? Kind of. He's just taking too much damage. Finally, the hatch goes down. Probe scouts it anyway, and the pool's going to finish here. But not when Jaedong wanted it to. Not when he wanted to. Gosh darn it. That's okay. I'm sure that's happened to him more than once or twice. He knows how to respond. He knows what to do. He does. Trust me on that. Trust me on that one. Okay, so where are we with this thing? We've got Forge. Yep, there's your Forge. There's your expansion. Got the expansion done before the Forge because he scouted it was a hatch first. He can do that. If there's if it's a spawning pool first out of the Zerg player, then absolutely you want to go for that Forge first. But if there's no lings coming, drones aren't going to kill you. So in that case, go ahead and pick up the Nexus and call it good. Call it good. Your economic advantage and your economy will thank you for it. Overlord, zooming on in. That's the sound that he makes. Is a sound. Immediately is warping in a cannon. Is Pure here. And Zerglings are out. They're late, man. I just don't know what you're going to do. I guess it's just putting some fear of Zerg into your Protoss opponent's heart. Is this more Protoss music? Why has it always been Protoss music lately? Dun, 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 Okay, Zerglings ready to go. Probes ready to go too. The probes are set up. Well, they were. They went back to work because the Zealot's here now. A Zealot is worth 6 probes. Officially, that's the math on that. And yeah, the Lings decide just kind of head on back home. Bye. Bye, everyone. It was nice knowing you. Have fun storming the castle. Cybernetics core on the way here from Pure. Back in his main base, and he's just probing up, man. He's making 2 probes at a time. Oh, Zealot kind of got caught out in the open and paid for it with his life. It's the wrong neighborhood, man. You can't just go there wearing purple and expect to come out of that one alive. Metabolic Boost on the way here from the Jaedong 2. There's your bottom right expansion for Jaedong. 3rd base up. As is tradition, he just likes having that 3rd base. He can hold it too. Lesser players like you or I might have a hard time holding this bottom right-hand 3rd base, but Jaedong is capable. He is more than capable, for he is Jaedong. Stargate opening once again for our Protoss player Pure. He's gotten some good Overlord kills with these Corsairs, and I feel like they've done a pretty good job keeping the muta count low, which is really, I think, their primary function, is making sure the muta count can't get out of control, because mass muta without Corsair is really, really hard for Protoss to hold. They just don't have the air response to it. Corsairs, though, fill that admirably. This Zealot wandering around in this bottom right-hand corner, gonna get surrounded. Yeah, he toast. Didn't take anybody else out with him. Probe scouting around. How does Probe get in here? Brave Probe. Wonderful Probe. Speed done, though? Yeah, speed's done. Okay, so the Probe's gonna die. Unless the Lings lose interest, which seems very, very possible. What information do you have that you didn't have before, good Probe? Spire, I guess. Saw the Spire again. Zerglings pushing out across the map, trying to see what damage they can do. 2 cannons and 2 Zealots at this front door, though. I just don't think Lings are going to break this thing. Yeah, maybe it's what we're going to see in game, or what we saw in game number 2, where the Lings get in for the scout, right? They sacrifice some of their numbers to get through this wall, although this looks pretty walled off. If these guys are in hold position, I don't think the Zealots are doing anything at all, or the Lings are doing anything at all. His evolution chamber, Hydralisk Den, and a hatchery. Okay. And there's your extractor and an evolution chamber down here at the 3rd. That seems a little bit exposed for a place to put your upgrades. I feel like losing your 3rd's a lot more likely than losing your main. At least if you want to stay in the game. So speaking of TV shows and stuff, man, what a TV show massacre this last week, huh? The Expanse is not renewed by Sci-Fi for a 3rd season. Brooklyn Nine-Nine gets canceled by Fox. The Mick gets canceled by Fox. Lucifer gets canceled by Fox. There's just a huge number of shows that died this last week. Brooklyn Nine-Nine did get saved by NBC, which I'm very happy about. I feel like it's a good home for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They're good with the comedies. And I think it's a good long-term home for them, too. The Expanse has still not been picked up by anybody. There is some hope that Netflix or Hulu will step in and let it keep going. The Expanse might be my favorite show, my favorite sci-fi show ever, honestly. The way it does sci-fi is just, it's realistic. It uses actual physics. It's gritty, and it's dirty, and it's dangerous, and just, I don't know, space travel where it's all shiny and glamorous and easy just doesn't really sit well with me. And The Expanse is not that. So check it out. If you have Amazon Prime, it's available on there too. Just search The Expanse for seasons 1 and 2, and you will be a happy camper if you like the sci-fi. All right, Zealots wandering into this 3rd base location, but once again, we have the Sunken, we got the Hydras, we got the Lings. The Zealots aren't going to be able to do a whole lot here, although they're trying. They're not actually retreating from this location. They are instead going to try to harass. I just don't see it working all that much is the thing. The Zealots possibly, yeah, if they can avoid getting surrounded, they can fight on this ramp. Maybe they can actually win this thing. The Hydra's forced to retreat from that location because, again, in a straight-up fight, Zealots will absolutely take care of Hydras. If the Hydras aren't kiting, if they don't have any support from Lings or Lurkers or anything like that. Hydra DPS is good, but Hydra tanking ability turns out is pretty darn bad. Pretty horrible. Psionic Storm being researched by the Pure. I mean, it makes sense we're having Protoss music instead of Terran music, right? But why aren't we getting any Zerg music? I don't know. Maybe the next game we'll have Zerg music. That'll be nice. That will be nice. Scourge. Really, not Scourge. Corsair really more scouting than anything else right now. I would have probably stopped and tried to kill that Overlord if it was on a mission to murder thing. So no hive yet, which is great. Actually, that'd be super fast. For a 3-4 basing Jaedong to have hive at this point, he'd have to really focus on it. Wouldn't have a lot of units otherwise. Just seems kind of dumb. Nope, sorry, Probe. I know you had interest in tossing up a base there, but not right now. Although the Zealot brothers are here to shut you down. +1 attack done on those Zealots. The Zerglings have no attack upgrades to speak of right now, although they're not working on anything either. So unupgraded Lings except for speed, man. They're fast, they hit hard, but bullet. Oh, Scourge taking out a Corsair up here in the main base of the Jaedong too. Attack from the top left to the bottom right. Here come those Zealots. Ling Hydra, man. Ling Hydra, what you want against these guys? The Lings do some damage, but also do the tanking. And it's weird to say that Lings can tank, but they really can. Surviving just a couple seconds here means the Hydras get a few more seconds from distance to attack, but I don't know. Maybe not enough. Maybe too many Zealots for that particular model to work super well. Hydra's trying to stand behind and fight, not working particularly great for them. And Zealots deciding to go for this. Wow, look at this Zealot attack. How many are there? 10, 12. Another huge group. A bunch of High Templar coming in too. Look at this play from Pure. The Zealots do not stand, or the Zerglings do not stand a chance. The Hydras neither, man. The Hydras have got Zealots right on top of them. Zealots trying to take down that sunken colony. Some Hydras do pop up. Some beautiful storms. Lurkers burrowing on in, but they're getting stormed. Taking some damage there. Being very patient. You'll notice that Pure is not A-moving right now. Actually walking through his own storm just a little bit. Look at these Zealots go. How strong are they? Getting on top of the drones. Another storm to try to finish off these Lurkers. There's no detection, so you have to storm the Lurkers to death. Which might be a problem. Oh, splash damage. Splash damage, taking down the Lurkers with the Archons. What a brilliant play. A brilliant play out of our Pure Zealot up here, going to town at the natural base. Jaedong's in a ton of trouble right now, man. Archons finally getting cleaned out, but alive. Zealots making sure it's a ghost town here at the natural. Then finally killed themselves. But it's 107 to 63 supply. Pure has basically got Jaedong doubled up right now. That attack, I don't think Jaedong was quite expecting it. He wasn't quite ready for it. He wanted to have Lurkers out, but he didn't have enough of them ready when they were. So counterattack time. Nope, too many cannons, too many Zealots. You're not counterattacking with Lings. Not today. Might be able to take down this fourth base, though, if that's something you're interested in, Mr. Jaedong. And of course he is. But Zealots making sure the Nexus actually does finish here. Ling's not even actually going against the Nexus. Nah, they're not even really trying there. Alright, so here comes some Lurkers. Here comes some Lings. 6 Dragoons are in production here for Pure. He really needs that range. He needs that range attack against the Lurker. And just the tankiness, right? Dragoons don't die that fast to Lurkers. You can kind of stand in and fight against them for a little bit anyway. So a bit of a Ling Hydra Lurker push with some Scourge in the air too for Jaedong. But is it going to be enough? I don't know. This counterattack looks real scary though. If you're Pure, just Zealot trying to hold against the Zerg onslaught up towards this top left-hand corner base. Is it going to be enough? The Zealots are holding. They've got some storm support too. That makes it harder to get up that ramp. And Jaedong recognizes that immediately, deciding to retreat. Nice storm, finishing off one of the Lurkers with that Storm Dragoon combination here. Still 132 to 90 total supply. Nice storm. Templar does get picked off at the last second though. It's just this Lurker count, man. These Lurkers, there are 4 or 5 of them on top of this ramp. 3 more at the bottom of this ramp. This fourth base is entirely cut off from help. Cut off from help and support of any kind. I don't know why you're going down this way, Jaedong. There's Storm, there's Cannons, there's Dragoons here. Bit of a silly move, I would say. Just lost a bunch of Hydras for effectively 1 Dragoon there. Lurker. Oh, thought he had it. Thought he had it, but no, not quite. That's why he pulled back. More Lurkers, more Hydras deciding to join our party right now. Lurkers sieging forward as they are a siege unit. +2 attack is done. There's your Storm. Observer picked off. Cannons providing some nice sight here too. Can he break up this ramp with this number of Dragoons? Dragoons are starting to fall. Dragoons trying to burrow a little bit closer to the action, but a little bit too late for that. And all the Lurkers, not all the Lurkers, but a lot of the Lurkers are toast. Observer got picked off there. I'm pretty sure Jaedong microed that one down. Archon morphing in right at the front here at the third base. I can't believe he's been allowed to keep this fourth base location. I mean, he doesn't have anything mining here, but just the fact that it exists is really, really good for Pure right now. Lurkers trying to reposition somewhere else. The army for Pure decides to head on down to the south here, but the Overlord positioning and the scouting coverage by Jaedong is absolutely excellent. But look at this army pulling back to defend their homeland. Zealots come in a bit of a wrong way here. I wonder if the pathing kind of helped Pure their basic Dragoon action right now against these Hydras, and generally not a great fight. But they've got the +2 attack. The Zerglings are a major problem, though, but there really aren't that many of them. Did he bring detection to deal with the Lurkers? The answer is no. I don't see any observers present. Oh, Dragoon, don't worry. Oh, now Observer joins. Observer joins the party. What a hero. What a hero, Observer. These Dragoons doing a lot of work. Trying to come from the backside is Jaedong to finish off these Dragoons. But they see it coming. There's enough Lings where it's a problem, right? Talked about Zerglings versus Dragoons before, but they don't have the Adrenal Glands upgrade. They do have +1 and +2. And finally, I think these Dragoons are going to be finished off. Especially as a new swell of Hydras show up. But we've got more High Templar, more Zealots here, producing 5 Dragoons at a time. Oh, look at this Zealot attack. Look at those Lurkers going down. And that's a good game from Jaedong. Jaedong is defeated. Pure takes a 2-1 lead against his Zerg opponent here in game number 3. Whoa. Let's take a look at this score. Wow, look at these units produced. 283 for Jaedong and 173 for Pure, but was able to kill 196 with his 170 units. Jaedong only killed 57 units with his 283. That ratio will kill you every single time. Jaedong actually mined more gas this time and then was down on the other two. So a bit of a reversal from game 2 there. So game 3 goes to Pure. He leads this thing 2-1, 2 more games to go. Or is it just 1? Or is it just 1? Can Pure 3-1 Jaedong here today? I don't know. I don't know if he can, but I'm interested to find out. So stay with me and we'll be back with game 4 in just a second. Game 4 of this best of 7 between Jaedong and Pure will be held on match point. No big surprise there. Welcome back to the best of 5. In the bottom left-hand corner, we've got the red player Jaedong, and in the top right, we have Pure, no longer sporting purple, but orange. Red versus orange. If you're colorblind, I apologize, but I did not pick these colors. All right, so Jaedong has his back against the wall. He is down 2-1 in a best of 5, which means he needs to win the next 2 games to win this series. Pure just needs to win 1, but winning 1 game against Jaedong is very, very hard, let alone beating him 3 times out of 5 games. They're talking to each other here. I'm assuming that's Korean. Version 1.2 came through. Huh. No idea. Absolutely no concept of what they are talking about there. So let's check out what's going on here. Pylon, Scout, yada, yada, yada. All the same beats there. I guess I'll take this time to say, if there's anything you want me to cast, if you have access to any replays of your favorite players, you want to see someone out there I haven't gotten on the channel yet. Obviously, there's a lot of Flash, there's a lot of Jaedong, there's a lot of Bisu. But if somebody who's maybe less well-known but still an incredible player, send me their replays. Shoot them to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. with the subject of Brood War replay, and I would be more than happy to cast it, honestly. I mean, I'm just kind of digging through old stuff right now, trying to figure out what would be good for the channel, and it's going okay. It's going well, I would say, but eventually the day will come. I might not be able to find as many as I want to. If I had access to ASL replays, I would love to cast those, so if you have those somehow, or know where they are, send them my way. He didn't... What the what? Why didn't you try to block the hatch this time, Pure? You crazy person? Why would you not... He didn't even try to block the hatch. He could have. He could have blocked it for quite a while, but instead this little guy just decided to come down and harass this mineral line, which, I mean, that's fine. He lost the game. He lost the mineral line harass game because he got a mouthful of minerals here. Sees the pool. All right, so they're going to be Lings. Nothing too nuts. Nothing too crazy here from the Jaedong. No proxy hatch shenanigans, but it did allow Pure to go for that Nexus first to play. So he goes Nexus, and then we're going to see a Forge, and then we're going to see a Cannon, then we're going to see a Gateway. Just going to allow our Protoss player to get up what he needs to when he wants it. Actually going to be Gateway here. All right. He feels like he can hold just with Gateway, which I am... Am I convinced that's possible? I don't know. I don't know that I am. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if Jaedong can do it. And there's the Forge. Okay, so he is getting a Forge. No big deal. Ah, Probe is harassing up in the top left here, though. Jaedong really wants this base. Probe says, you're not allowed. Even throwing down a pylon to block it. We haven't seen that in the series yet. Very strange. What's the drone going to do? Maybe expand down here instead? No, drone's waiting for that to cancel. You gonna finish that pure? You gonna finish that pure? You gonna finish that pure? Yeah, pure's gonna finish it. Can you still cancel it now? I know in StarCraft, yep. You can cancel it in the middle, like at the very, very last second, while it's warping in. During that animation, you can actually cancel. I guess the last of all seconds. And another one goes down. Pure, oh, but the probe gets killed. The probe gets killed, though. And this pylon is gonna block for quite a while here. So no third base. Sorry, no third base for you, Mr. Jaedong. Got some lings pushing across the map here. It's a good number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. But there's a cannon just about to finish. The cannon should be able to hang on. And... oh, I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. If these lings just kind of bypass and run into the main base, it's going to be bad news bears for Pure. What's he got? What's he got to defend with this? A Zealot. All right, the ling's going for it, man. I don't... oh, look at them getting a bit of a surround here on that cannon. Can they finish it off? They finished off the cannon, but everybody died except for one of the lings. So I don't know if that was worth it. I mean, sure, you're going to force Pure to rebuild the cannon, but at what cost? You just lost 7 Zerglings for that thing. Did anything else die? I'm not sure anything else died for Pure either. He was really focusing down that cannon. He wants to kill it again. Zap, 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 zap. Say the probes. Get away. Get away from this cannon. Let it finish. Meanwhile, nothing crazy going on, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like Pure did cancel that pylon eventually, allowing the third base to go down, but it's super duper later than Jaedong would prefer it to go. Stargate in production for Pure. Stargate openings have what we've been seeing the entire series thus far. I don't think it's a required thing in the Brood War, but nevertheless, it is what Pure is doing here today against Jaedong, so it's got to be pretty good. Another Spire, likely going to be for Scourge, although we could see some mutas like we saw in Game 3? Game 3 of the series. Zealots marching on over, trying to get some stuff done. At least forcing some lings out of Jaedong. I mean, the whole point here is to just force units out. Because if you let the Zerg macro their face off and just make drones this whole time instead of being forced to make lings, look at this micro from these Zealots. Holy cow. All right. That was pretty good. Okay, maybe not as good towards the end there. He did lose 2 Zealots for effectively nothing, but killed a lot of lings. This ling's still alive? Of course it's still alive. It's got speed, even. Absolutely does. Dragoon chasing away this Overlord. Goodbye, Overlord. We hardly knew ye. We hardly knew ye at all. Citadel of a Dune finishing up here, too, for Pure. Gonna go for them Zealot legs. Really can't skip that upgrade. If you're making any number of Zealots, it's a requirement. It's what it is. Alright, lings down south. Natural base. Hanging out too. Corsair gonna take down an Overlord. These are all very familiar beats. We've seen this in the first 3-4 games of the series. Well, 3 games of the series. 4 games now. This is in fact the 4th one. Once again, Jaedong is playing for his very life right now. He's got to make something happen. He can't be caught by surprise by big Zealot attacks with Storm. He can't be caught by surprise with... I mean, there's just a lot of Dragoons in the last game, wasn't it? A lot of Dragoons. Really doing a great job getting rid of those Lurkers. Those Scourge, I was going to say, the Scourge just flew right past that Corsair. But the Corsair is going to die. Trying to juke, but it's hard. Here's the one. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was fancy. That was fancy out of Pure. And juke again. Nice. Look at this. This is the best juking I've seen from a Corsair in this game so far. Can he live? Can Corsair pilot live to see a third base? Yeah, it does scout the entire third base. Use the evolution chamber. Oh. From the front. They never see him from the front. Always missing that one. Alright, so Citadel of Adun is done, but we don't have the legs upgrade researching right now. Just +1 air weapons and +1 ground weapons, strangely enough. Oh, that was almost a free Corsair. Corsair going to fly down to this cannon, though, and be just fine. Oh, shoot. Another cannon. Surprise cannon! And that guy's pretty injured, too. Ah, it is Protoss music again. What the what? Gotta figure out the pattern here. How's it always Protoss music? Dunno. Don't know. Perhaps somebody in the comments can enlighten me as to how this works in the replays. Finally getting Zealot leg enhancements. Develop leg enhancements. Corsair taking some shots from the Hydras that are out now. And both players are just kind of content to do their own thing. Third base going to go down here for Pure along that right side. But there's a lot of Hydras coming here too. That is a pretty darn good number. They are working on range. And that was pneumatized Carapace for Overlords. Yes, they have speed now too. Music actually getting a little intense appropriately here. Hydra's trying to come in, but too many Zealots and an Archon and a Dragoon. I don't know about this. Can we have the high ground is the question. Can I bait him into attacking me when I have the high ground? The answer is not really. Maybe. Maybe a tiny bit, but Pure's a little bit too smart for that. Third base warping in the midst of all that attacking. That is what sets apart the good players from the okay mediocre players is, can you expand even if you're being attacked? Can you expand even if you're attacking? Can you put your attention elsewhere? Can you put it in 2 or 3 places at once? Because if you can, you're going to be in a better spot. Because I have the problem when I play is I know the rule is attack when you expand, but I'm so focused on the front. I'm so focused on microing, trying to do Ling run-bys, trying to focus fire units that I totally forget about throwing up that 4th while I'm attacking at the opponent's front door. And then I finish and I win, or I do a lot of damage, and I go back and look and I don't have a 4th, and it's a bad feeling. Bad feeling. So spare some APM to go back home, you guys. It's a reminder for you as well as it is a reminder for me. Alright, small Zealot leg Archon High Templar army. Coming for you. Coming for you pure. And these Hydras, I don't think this is enough. It's not enough Hydra. Jaedong agrees. Jaedong agrees with me and says, no, that is not enough. There's definitely not enough Hydra. Some Lurkers burrowing in. You heard that. Oh, free High Templar. If you're not careful, these High Templar are kind of A-moving a little bit. A little tiny bit, but luckily not picked off or focused on by anybody else. Oh, the Lurker hold position! Oh, they held their attacks. Oh, that's horrible. Still, man, Zealot's pretty good. Still pretty good, Zealots are. Yeah, they're just crushing through these Lings, man. But the Lurkers are going to burrow, and that's going to be it. Woof. One fell swoop. Corsairs flying around, trying to do stuff. Trying to find Overlords to kill, trying to find, I guess, Scourge to not lose to. Oh, they cleared out the detection, but no Overlords popped in here. And the DT is not as effective as it otherwise would be. So we're kind of getting a secondary thing here where Corsairs are killing the detection and DTs are coming in to clean up once there is no detection. But unfortunately, Jaedong's timings were too good for Pure. Overlord does pop before the DT can really wreck this too badly. And Jaedong gets that win. Here comes a Lurker attack up at the front door of the Pure. Lurkers. Once again, we saw this. We've seen this, right? The Lurkers separating this 3rd base from this 4th base. And then actually deciding to go home. What on earth are you afraid of, guys? Why are you going all the way home? There's no orange on this side of the map. I don't see any. Is Corsair pretty much still doing what they want to do? Are there any Scourge about? Any Scourge for Pure at all? And I am uncertain. Alright, so another Overlord dies. I mean, it does supply block Jaedong. It's a win. It's not like game ending, but it's a win. Zealots trying to get on top of these guys before the Lurkers burrow, but their burrow time is real fast. And the Zealots are forced to retreat here. Going to be another Hydra Lurker push at this 3rd base location. Lurkers burrowing themselves in on the high ground. And then once again, pulling back. What on earth? I guess the Lurkers are kind of staying. Hydra's deciding to come back to join the party too. Shuttle in production for Pure. Got a Queen's Nest from Jaedong. Going to go for that Hive technology here at about the 12-minute mark. Yeah, this particular track right here reminds me of playing the campaign with Protoss. Hear this song a lot. And really atmospheric. See, Hydra's trying to win the Corsair battle, but they're so fast. Corsairs can fly. They can go over terrain that Hydras can't. Hydras can't chase them very well. And then once again, another attack on Overlords here at this base. I mean, there's enough Overlords now that Jaedong is not being supply blocked. But he just... Ah, there's a storm. There's a storm down here. Nothing else kills that many Hydras that fast, except maybe your Reavers, but I don't think there are any on the field right now. Finally making some more Scourge. Can't let this Corsair group get too big, Jaedong. Be careful, man. Be real careful. This Corsair group will make you a bad day. Oh, okay. Well, free Scourge hits for Jaedong. Just fly right through the Scourge. Why don't ya? You can almost turn and fight in this situation as long as... I don't know. As long as what? All right, on the offensive now is Pure. He wants to kill this Lurker so bad. There we go. Managed to get it there. +1 attack is done for the ground units for the Protoss. No attacks, no attack upgrades or armor upgrades for the Zerglings, but the Hydras, wait a second. The Hydras have +1/+1. Did that upgrade just finished for you guys? Yep. Literally just now finished. Scourge getting picked out of the sky in that bottom right-hand corner. And the army for Pure looking pretty good here. Looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Got some Lings trying to do stuff down here in the south location, but the army of Pure is too much. Too many of them. Jaedong trying to hide in this bottom section again, but once again, Pure sniffs it out and takes care of it. This is a lot of dead Overlords for Jaedong. It's not supply blocked, but man, forced to use money and larva for Overlords instead of units is bad for Jaedong. Really bad news bears. Yeah, Lurker's saying, why did you not come this way, Protoss army? Okie doke. How about this free group of Hydras? Might be able to finish them off. Yeah, they know. They're running. They're running with their little muscular augments. Get out. Get out. No. Oh, some free Lurkers, though. Man, a lot of Lurkers have died in this game, too. That unit's loss number is going to be pretty good. Wish we had our resources lost, but this north base looks like it's in a lot of trouble for Jaedong. These Zealots and these Dragoons are going to finish this thing off. This is, again, we've seen this before too, forcing a cancel on the base. Not killing it, like in the previous games, but forcing a cancel there anyway. Army not even really seeking to engage for Jaedong right now. Pure's heading up to this third base location in the top left-hand corner. And sure, there are some Lurkers defending, but most of the army is Pure is here, and I feel like that's enough. But check this out. Oh, this is bad transferring action on those probes. They decide they don't actually care. Going up the ramp anyway, though. Look at these storms. The Lurkers are getting cleared out. The defenses are falling, but the Zerg army is here at the third base location of Pure. There's just too much stuff. Zealots are trying to respond. What's the answer to this, though? Is my question. This third base is going to die. I feel like there might be enough. Nope, third base is going to die. The Lurkers came to burrow, and they came to take no prisoners. The third base of both players are going to die simultaneously just about here. Jaedong is trying to send additional Hydras up to help with this thing, but there are too many Zealots, too many Dragoons, too much orange for his red to persevere, but he might end up losing his fourth base too. Here come the Hydras, here come the Lurkers. A lot of good cannons, though. Cannons here. Probes, I'm not sure what the probes are doing. Trying to mess up the AI, I suppose. There's not even any Dark Swarm, but does it really matter? I don't know. Third base by Jaedong does get exploded along with this macro hatch. And we can still mine. At this fourth base location. This is an intense situation right now. Pure's actually up 115 to 77 total supply on the Protoss opponent. And it looks like it's a one base for one base trade here. Look at all these Lurker eggs trying to morph in. This is going to be a big thing. The Dark Swarm, though. The Dark Swarm making the Dragoons essentially useless right now. Lurkers burrowing on in like bosses. Can't do anything. No splash damage in this army at all for Pure. The Dark Swarm came at just the right moment for Jaedong. Helped him win that battle. I don't think straight up he was going to win that thing, but he was able to save his fourth base location. Checking to see if the third got replanted as Pure, but no, it did not get replanted at all. Oh, free, there we go. Free Lurkers. As long as the Observer doesn't go too far. Oh man, the Observer still saw those? Dang. All right, Lurkers aside, there's enough of us. Oh, the Storm helping there, though, too. High Templar, man, they are sneaky. They are very sneaky, and they look a lot like Zealots out of the corner of your eye, too, with your peripheral vision. Do you not have your Observer? There it is. Bring the Observer! Oh, boy. Yeah, these Lurkers burrowing in is not great. There's another Dark Swarm. The cannons are utterly useless in this situation. Lings on top of everything. Lurkers on top of everything. These Zealots are going to be useless too. There's just no splash damage whatsoever to help with this Dark Swarm attack. And the Zealots getting a couple Hydras that are outside of the Swarm there, but this base is going to die. And suddenly Pure is stuck on 2 bases that he is technically mining from. Ah, Dark Swarm there, the melee, making it happen. And the Dark Templar clearing out the attack. So the Nexus lives, just barely. Just barely does the Nexus live. I thought for sure it was toast for good, but it wasn't. But guess who's coming? Another humongous Zerg army from the top left section of the map. +2/+2 on these Hydras. That's just so nasty. So hard to hold. There's a Reaver down here trying to hold 2. Trying to replan his 3rd base is Pure. A lot of Hydras show up, but the Storm is beautiful. The Plague, fantastic, though. The Plague is amazing. These Zealots die so much more quickly when they've been plagued. Ling's trying to join the party here, too. And they're all dead. But they do have +2 armor, which means it's a little bit harder to kill them than it was previously. All right, here comes the Jaedong to the bottom right-hand corner. This Dark Templar trying to hold 2 DTs, trying to hold the line. Nope. Storming the ramp. Kills a Zergling, but does injure a bunch of these units, too. There's only 1 High Templar here. Only 1 High Templar here. Not enough for more Storm, unfortunately. It's 116 to 180 or 84 total supply. Pure has a big lead right now, but this is a lot of stuff. And he's got the Archons for the splash damage that he needs. The Lings are cleared out. The Lurker doing damage, though. The Archons in the front trying to find purchase. Nope. Not going to happen. Look at these Hydras. Just stutter stepping in. Amazing clutch Storm out of Pure. And actually does kind of save the day there, though. But these Lings at this 3rd base location, it's going to go down. Absolutely going to die here. Jaedong is on 3 bases. He's trying to get to 4th base. Down in the bottom section here, but I don't know. As long as this base is living for Pure, it's going to work for him. But look at this red. Just so many Zerglings. So good against these Dragoons. Good against the cannons. The Storms are useful against them, but the Storms don't last forever, as we have learned here. Oh, High Templar are going to get picked off. 1 High Templar down, 2 High Templar down, 3 High Templar down, maybe a 4th one going to die there too. Wow, 4 High Templar killed instantly, and virtually an instant there. 4th base is going to pop, so good job popping there by the Jaedong. What is our army supply right now for Pure? I just don't see the units. We've got a couple of Reavers and a High Templar down here in this 4th base location. The 3rd, or the natural base rather, has a High Templar. 3 High Templar, rather. So there's not a whole ton for Jaedong, but boy golly, is Pure in a heck of a lot of trouble right now. Ling's heading north, Ling's heading south. Just trying to make sure there aren't any hidden bases that Pure managed to get on Jaedong. That kind of thoroughness is how you get to be the best Zerg player ever. Possibly some drops up here? Is that what we're looking at? I'm not sure if the drop upgrade is done. Yeah, I mean, it's High Templar, it's DTs, it's cannons. Pure kind of feels like he's just trying to hold out here. Doesn't really show that he's in a position to move out at all, which Jaedong is taking advantage of. He's got that base. He's got that 4th base location. Single DT down here in the south gets cleared out by them Hydras. And yeah, it's just red. Just red everywhere right now. Zealot scouting the planting of the 3rd base again for Jaedong. Does manage to get that information. And it looks like Pure has enough to push out here just a little bit and reestablish that 3rd. If he can, you know. Dark Templar trying to hold that left ramp. Nope. Hydra, Overlord, too good. Too good in that situation. Here come the Hydras. Here come the Lurkers from the top left to the bottom right, where they've come this entire game. And the Dark Swarm is just going to have to be key here. The storm, regular Storm, Psionic Storm, real good. Or Dark Swarm needs to be the key here for Jaedong. Zealot trying to kill the Lings. Lings trying to hold position. That did not go particularly well, I would say, for Jaedong. Yep, the Lurker's getting stormed up. And there we go. There is the Dark Swarm. The Hydra is able to stand back here and just attack with impunity from distance. Kind of trying to come up a little bit, losing one of the Defilers in the process. And yeah, Pure's like, fine, you stay under your cloud. I don't care. I've got my Nexus to worry about right now. 106 to 92 supply. Pure is up still. Overlord's trying to sneak in and see those Dark Templar, because there wasn't any detection previously, that's for sure. Great Storm. Killing a Defiler. Nice snipe. What an incredible snipe. Scourge trying to do stuff. There's really not much for them to Scourge, I guess, except for the Observers, but there are 3 of them and only a couple Scourge, so gonna have detection regardless. Okay, here we go. Dark Swarm on top of this third base. Pure needs to hold on. He needs to save this third base, and I just don't. It's looking rather dire for him. They're actually tossing down a Plague. I thought for sure that was going to be a Dark Swarm. Plaguing Archons is useless, because you know what it does. Takes down their HP, but doesn't touch their shields at all. And Archons are like 99.9% shield. It's true. Look it up. Look up the numbers. Oh, Scourge do take down Unobserver, but once again, there's still a couple more here. There's the Dark Swarm trying to get on top there. The splash damage and the Storm doing exceptionally well for Pure. And a lot of Lings are dying here. Another Dark Swarm, kind of a fallback position, storming the Lurkers as soon as they try to join this party. One of them dies almost instantly. This Defiler's been an MVP though, man. Plagues, Dark Swarms all over the place. Storming, and the Lurker does end up living there. More Zerglings here, whether for attacking or just to be consumed by the Defiler, I don't know. Secondary Dark Swarm popped up. Dark Templar gets removed here. I'm kind of liking this. Another Dark Swarm. This Dark Swarm path of Jaedong is real impressive. Real impressive here. Oh, the Nexus is getting focus fired right now. Pure, you cannot afford to lose this Nexus. Going for it. Zealots and the splash damage. Trying to do some stuff, but it's just, no, he doesn't really want to commit. Doesn't want to commit. Reaver at the backside throwing that splash damage down. Yeah, Reaver says, I'll hit for splash damage all day. I cannot believe these probes are still mining. I really can't believe it at all. All right, Archons, can they win this fight? It's too many Hydras. I think it's too many Hydras. Picking off the Observer. Nicely done. No more detection. The Lurkers are unopposed right now. Unless they get stormed, which one of them does, but this one's still alive. And this one's got... How many kills you got, friend? 2 kills. Only 2 kills. This is a really scrappy battle, but I just feel like Jaedong, he's got his couple extra bases back. He continuing to flood in Hydras here. Pure isn't really mining from this base right now as he evacuates all of the probes, loses the third. Can't believe he never really went after the fourth again. I feel like he had it on the ropes. Kind of let it off the hook there. Oh, and that's it. Pure with a good game. Kind of weird timing for him, but it was, I mean, third base wasn't happening. He did have a fourth base, but Jaedong had map control. He was expanding again. He'd just be able to keep sending in units forever and ever, amen. And so Pure decided to tap out and try to make it happen in Game 5, which is coming up next. Take a quick look at our numbers. Some people like those. 658 units produced by Jaedong. Lost 505 of them. Pure did a great job of killing units of Jaedong. Produced 242, killed 483. Yeah, that's a good ratio for sure. Resources. Pure actually mined more gas, but once again, more minerals mined and more spent overall by the Jaedong. Okay, Game 5 coming your way from the Falcon Paladin and StarCraft Remastered in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to Game 5. Glad to have you here. Glad you stuck around this long to see who will win this best of 5. It is tied 2-2, which means whoever wins this game goes to the next round, and whoever loses will go home. A lot of pressure. All right, bottom left-hand corner, the blues are Jaedong, and in the other corner, the purple Protoss player, Pure. I know, we've seen these two players with these colors and these positions on Fighting Spirit in this series before, but this is a different game. I promise you that. Alrighty then, what are we looking at here? MSL from Jaedong, whatever the heck that means. Whatever that means, and we're going to see kind of similar stuff at the beginning. I have to believe it's either going to be a hatch or a pool from Jaedong. Pure will adjust accordingly. As he does, it's got to hurt, man, to be up 2-1 against Jaedong and then lose and then be forced into this Game 5 situation. In a best of 7, it kind of feels like an easier situation for you. You know, it's not as crazy. Not as just insane. Anyways, Probe checking. Is he scouting the wrong direction? This is a 4-player map, so he is going to scout the wrong direction here on Fighting Spirit, see no creep, and say, dang it, guessed wrong. And then he's going to go in the top left and be wrong there too. So that means that we can go hatch first if you want. If you're Jaedong here today, and you're just fine. See, the problem is he's waiting. He's waiting to see, do I go Forge or do I go Nexus? I don't know if there's Lings coming my way because I haven't been able to scout properly here, and he decides to go for the Forge to play it safe. And go for that Forge first play and then go for the Nexus, which I think was, I don't know, it turns out it wasn't the right idea just because there's a hatch first play here from Jaedong. And he could have gone Nexus first, but just based on the fact that he didn't know what was happening, that's enough. That is enough for sure, is just to play safe. Spawning pool following up immediately from the Jaedong. Pure with his probe timings, just excellent here. I haven't mentioned that in this cast yet, but workers don't automatically mine in Brood War. If this is your first time here, you're like, oh, let's check out some Brood War. Yeah, they don't automatically mine. So what happens is you have to tell them to go to what mineral patch. So let's watch this real quick. Let's watch where this probe goes and how long it takes Pure to get him to go mining somewhere. Instant. Just instant. And he's doing this the whole game, too, right? You're fighting in the front, and you have to go back and tell your guys to work, and it's just, ugh. It is so APM intensive. That's why these guys, you'll see them hover around 300, 200, 400 the entire game. It's just because that's what you have to do. That's how you have to do it. What has the probe scouted thus far? Well, it might have blocked that third, possibly, but was not able to do it. So very quick third. Sub 3-minute third here out of Jaedong, which you could do on this map. And really anybody can do on this map, but especially the Jaedong. Gateway in production here, recognizing the Ling count can't be too high at this point. Don't worry about it. Drone actually blocking off this ramp. It's got to be suspicious. Got to be a little bit suspicious here for Pure. I mean, there's no gas, so I don't think we're taking up to Muta that quickly at all. All right, Probe, now go. Oh, there's Lings waiting. Oh, it's a trap. It's a trap for you, Probe. Don't go. I know you're like, oh, the drone left. No, the Probe's too smart for that. Probe says, I'm gonna... Oh, just kidding. Probe kind of went and decided to retreat. Decided to retreat from that position. First Zealot on the way out of this here gateway. Nexus. Cannon. All the things you want to see. If you want to know how to play Protoss against Zerg on Fighting Spirit, do what Pure does. Just memorize this. Look at it, take a screenshot, memorize it, and follow it in your next game, and you'll be in a good place, in a good position. Probe does manage to sneak back in here and catch a macro hatch that's coming in for Jaedong. And really not much else happening here. Cyber Core just about complete. This is where Pure gets interesting. Pure gets interesting when he can make his higher tech buildings. It's been Citadel of Adun, and it has been Stargate for him thus far. So it's definitely Stargate. Definitely Stargate first here. Out of the Pure, single Zealot on a mission to move across the map. Got very flat heads, do Zealots in the Brood War. Look at that. Look how flat that head is. You can put, like, a cup of tea on that thing and it wouldn't spill. Of course, depending, I guess, how much rocking motion there is based on his gait, but... Anyways. That a pylon? That is in fact a pylon? No biggie. And back in Zergland, he's got his gas, he's got his macro hatch. He has not decided his higher tier stuff yet either. I guess there's a Hydra den. So it's going to be Hydra first, here from the Jaedong. And Scouting Overlord getting picked off by a Dragoon. And this Scouting Overlord, however, is on the high ground and can get away before it is killed. No big deal. No big deal. Some slowlings coming across the map. No metabolic boost even in production right now for Jaedong. None of that. So once again, the lings are going to set up and try to do a bit of a contain. At least making sure that no zealots can get out, no probes can get out without ling permission. Oh man, Westworld is back. Westworld, I'm casting this on Saturday, gonna post on Tuesday, but Westworld is on the Sundays. Man, I like that show. And then I noticed the other day that J.J. Abrams has a producer credit for Westworld, and I said, oh, that's why I'm liking this so much. It's because J.J. Abrams is involved. Just the thing is that J.J. Abrams is more into the mystery of shows than he actually is into what happens, what the conclusions and the answers are in shows. So I don't know. We'll see if Westworld can finish this up satisfactorily. It just kind of seems like maybe they won't. Lings, Hydras, attacking on in. Gonna set this thing up here. Pulling back to the safety of the cannons. 4 cannons. Another one in production? By golly. Another cannon in production at the front here for Pure. Alright, so cannons gonna do their thing. Zealots trying to get rid of these Lings, and the Hydras forced to retreat from this location. Zealots don't have legs. Did he skip Citadel of Adun this game? Dude. You've done so well with fast lots and storm. What is this? I mean, he's going robotic support bay. Okay, man. If you're gonna go Reaver here, I don't know. Reaver just seems a lot iffier than compared to Storm. We haven't seen a lot of Reaver play, mostly defensive, out of Pure here. But he's trying to bait the Hydras in. Watch. He goes up and he goes back, and he's like, hey, Hydras, come in this direction. Rawr, losing a Hydra for nothing in the process. Yep. That's a problem. Alright, what are you doing back home, the Jaedong? What is happening here? I don't know, but another macro hatch? Another macro hatch got his 3rd gas up. Corsair flying in, as is tradition. Hydra already present, though. So the Corsair decides to just go for the scouting stuff instead. Zealot pulling down Hydra's back into range of those cannons. Jeez, didn't lose any of these yet, but they're very low on HP, and they don't regenerate it that quickly. This is just, this is so intense right now. So Pure's trying to tech up, trying to get those Reavers, trying to get shuttles going too, because Reavers are incredibly slow, and shuttles basically work with them exceptionally well. Corsair killing Scouting Overlord. That is going to scout what? What do you want to scout? Once it's got that robotic support bay, but isn't going to. As Dragoon Corsair is likely to say. Sorry, Scourge, you're not scouting anywhere today. 4th base on the way here from the Jaedong. Up that top left side. I just kind of feel like Pure's been biding his time, you guys. Kind of been biding his time. He's got the shuttles. He's got the Reavers. They're ready to go drop and just wreck a mineral line or two. If he can stay alive long enough, that is. Because we do have Lurkers. We do have Hydras. Jaedong looking pretty strong right now. And Lurker's deciding to set up in the position where there were Hydras previously. So it's an upgrade, but it's not particularly incredible. Kills his own cannon so his units can actually get out of here. And he thought about going up to kill these Lurkers before they burrowed, but nope. Not in time. Are these Zealots stuck? No, because there's just Dragoons in the way. That's all it is. Overlord scouts in, and Jaedong sees what he's dealing with right now and says, alright, 5 more Hydras. Gonna get that range upgrade. The missile attacks, or the attack upgrade rather, already has the range upgrade. Observatory here, so he doesn't have detection yet. That's the other thing. He skipped the observatory to go for these Reavers, and I'm not convinced that's what he wanted to do here. Either way, the Overlord has scouted everything that Pure has been doing so far. The scouting by Jaedong has just been impeccable this entire series. Really hasn't been taken by surprise all that much. Alright, man, this is a big number of Hydralisks. We've got the no attack upgrades, but +1 is almost there. Are they going to go for it? I mean, no, they're pulling back to safety. The Lurkers are staying where they are. The Reaver needs to get some shots off here. And here's the engagement. Oh, one of the Reavers gets picked off almost immediately. Dang, a lot of Hydras are dying, though. Nice Reaver hit there. But the other Reaver dies there, too. The target firing by Jaedong has been impeccable. Impeccable, but all the Hydras are gone. All that's left are a whole bunch of Hydras. And by all that's left, I mean like 7 Hydras. Slowly getting whittled down here. Another reinforcing swell of Hydras to join the party, and there's no splash damage for Pure. He just has the Dragoons. With there no upgrades either. He skipped upgrades too. I just think that Reavers might have been a mistake here as the Hydras decide to continue to push in, and that's your good game out of Pure. Jaedong is your winner in 5 games today. What a series, what a show. Forced to win the last 2 games of the best of 5 to go home. Incredible, incredible stuff from him. But what do you expect? What do you expect from Jaedong? Honestly, nothing more, and nothing less. Are those shield Dragoon shields getting hit by something? They're kind of off center. I don't think I've ever noticed that before in the remastered. That's interesting. Really interesting. All right. Well, wow. I mean, that was just the Reavers, man. It was the decision making by Pure to make Reavers there. They got a couple shots off, but just instantly killed. And then from there, no splash damage to deal with these Hydras, no storm. And Jaedong knew it. He knew there was no storm and said, all right, let's do this thing. And went for it. Amazing. Absolutely killer from Jaedong. Pure, though. Pure showed up. Pure showed up. But all right, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, as well as Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.